Hey people, I hope you're doing well. I'm Hannah, thanks for joining me. And I'm doing something a bit different today, just because I've had quite a lot of downloads off the back of the reading that I did last night, where I was just channeling tides, going in and out. And then I've never heard of this place before, but it came to me after that reading. And it's called Lindisfarne. I'm not even sure if I've pronounced that right, but it's an island off the east coast of England that twice a day is covered by the tide. And it's a very holy site in England, and a site of pilgrimage for Christianity, because it's a site of like monastic Celtic Christianity. You have to obviously go there when it's not covered by the tide. It was founded by a monk from Iona, and Iona, if people don't know, is a very small island off the coast of Mull, which is an island in the Hebrides. Yeah, it's in the Highland in the Hebrides in Scotland. I've actually been there. So I actually think that I used to be a Celtic monk or something like that, because I went to Iona in 2016, and it's just one of the most spiritual places that I've ever been to. There and Central Australia, where the Aboriginals are from. And it was just weird that I had a pull to go there. Like, people just thought I was weird. So, like, because everyone just wants to go on convenient holidays where you don't have to drive for like 12 hours to get there and get the ferry. And it was quite good. Like, I ran around the whole island because it's so small. A lot of the terrain's a bit treacherous. But I remember going in running gear specifically to go around it. But yeah, like, Iona is famous. So I didn't really know it was the home of Christianity for Scottish people, because I just thought that the whole of the UK was colonized by Roman Christianity. Because even St. Patrick, who is like the Irish saint, is Roman. So he's a colonizer. He's like from Empire. He's a colonizer. He's British. My best friend Bridget, she's not a colonizer. She's actually Celtic. Yeah. So there's a book. That was written by the monks in Iona. Some say that they wrote it all, which I believe. Because I think the other story is a bit like Empire trying to take the credit. Some people think that it was finished in Ireland, where the book lives now. The book, it's like it's gospels of 4 New Testament books, and I can't remember them. Matthew's one of them, Luke maybe. Anyway, I don't know, but it is 4 New Testament books from the Bible. And Lindisfarne, this island, the monks on that island, they also produce their own gospels. And the gospels of Lindisfarne, they look like carpets. and some of those are in the Book of Kells, but I didn't know because I've gone to see the Book of Kells. I went in 2021 to see the Book of Kells. It's in Trinity College library in Dublin, if I remember correctly. It's in Dublin anyway. You can go and see it. It's in like a museum. And the Book of Kells is basically like Latin calligraphy with some of these gospels in it as well, and it's all made from like natural materials. And like when I saw it, I was just, it's like, I don't know how to explain it. Like people just think it's weird when people say, "Oh, I think I was this in a past life," but it just felt like arts and crafts that I've done before. And it's just fascinating how all of it was so intricate, and all the details were done with natural dyes and inks, and all the paper was natural, and like just how well it's been preserved for all these years, because it was written supposedly in 800 AD by the like very early Christian monks that were on Iona. But yeah, I really think I was a monastic monk. I'm not kidding. I really think I was a monastic monk. Or nun. Sorry. So I might actually travel to Lindisfarne one day and go and see it there. Go and see those gospel. No, actually, you can't see the gospels there. That's wrong. They think they're in the British Library now. Yeah, the gospels somehow got into private ownership. Were in the British Museum for a while. And now they're in the British Library, like under custodianship there. But also, what's interesting is at this time, when we had Christian monks, Ireland wasn't called Ireland. Ireland was called Scotia. Scotia. So sounds like Scotland. So you know, and when I went to see the Book of Kells in 2021, the whole of how it was set up in the museum, in the library, the exhibition. I don't know what I want to say. The exhibition was inspired. I don't know why I can't speak. The exhibition was inspired by a poem by one of these Irish monks that lived in Germany, but it's anonymous. Like no one knows who actually was the monk who wrote it. So I'm gonna read it because it really just sounds like how I write a lot of my poetry. And I've like been feeling quite sad actually that there's not like these types of monasteries that exist anymore, because like for example calligraphy, geometry, all of that is like very similar to Islamic art, very very similar. And like I know that a lot of the pagans from that like became Celtic pagans actually came from the Middle East. So it's just really I just really want to find out more about all of this, to learn about me, and to see like if it's actually true, because I've only just had my own hunches, going on my own little journey. And what's interesting about going on your own little journey, this is a tangent, but kind of not. I don't know where it is now. Oh yeah. My Garmin watch, which is obviously a GPS watch, has decided to like really spectacularly just combust, like just die a death. Don't know if you can see it. It looks like a hole in it, and it's got like lines across it. Um, um, and like I just don't know. It's just been slowly dying over a week. So I don't know if it's been hacked or if it's a sign that um walk your own path, like literally carve your own road. You're not like you're a compass and you have to make your own maps. Don't use GPS, which is kind of like a philosophy that I like anyway. As a fellow runner, like GPS is banned from a lot of the races. You have to use old school ways. Anyway, back to the poem. I'm going to read it, and I'm sorry if I butcher it and if I don't pronounce it right, but it's called Pango Ban, and it's about the monk's cat. I and Pango Ban, my cat, 'tis a like task we are at. Hunting mice is his delight, hunting words I sit all night. Better far than praise of men, 'tis to sit with book and pen. Panga bears me no ill will, he too pals his simple skill. 'Tis a merry thing to see, at our tasks how glad are we, when at home we sit and find entertainment to our mind. Oftentimes a mouse will stray in the hero Panga's way. Oftentimes my keen thought set takes a meaning in its net. Against the walls he sets his eye, full and fierce and sharp and sly. Against the wall of knowledge I all my little wisdom try. When a mouse starts from its den, oh, how glad is Pangor then! Oh, what gladness do I prove when I solve the doubts I love. So in peace our task we ply, Pangaban, my cat and I. In our arts we find our bliss, I have mine and he has his. Practice every day has made Panga perfect in his trade. I get wisdom day and night, turning darkness into light. And actually um the whole setup of where the Book of Kells is called Turning Darkness into Light, like the whole exhibition or whatever. That's what it was called. Um, I just think it's funny how like the monk writes about um, art being his bliss and practicing every day. I just think it's really, really weird. And like my first book that's yet to be published, my first poetry collection, is called Little and Often because of that. Um, and then I think like people have stopped doing like the spell work's just not working anymore. People have just stopped doing spell work, it's not working anymore because I'm starting to regain like memories about like normal things I used to do before 2021, and like people started doing weird things, you know, the stalkers and stuff. And then I remembered this book that I've got, which is Celtic Cosmology and the Other World, and I mustn't have finished it because there's bookmarks like halfway along the book, and it's in the section called Sovereignty. Um, um, in the Mistress of the Wild Things section, but it's on a poem basically, a Gaelic poem. That other poem was also a Gaelic poem. Threefold charm, threefold speech, its venom in a snake, its strife in wolves, its flame in copper, may it not be a blemish in a person, threefold charm, threefold speech, the blood of a wolf, the blood of many wolves, the blood of the feast of Phidias, no blackness, no serious wound, no sore, no abscess, the thing on which my incantation is cast. I invoke the three daughters of Phidias. O serpent, heal the swelling. I strike disease. I incise an ulcer. I settle a tumour. I heal suffering from wolves that attack, from a pointed implement that wounds, from an iron weapon that strikes, a blessing on the sickness, a blessing on the body in which it is, a blessing on the charm, a blessing on each person who casts it. And basically like in this book, I don't remember it, to be honest. I'm gonna have to read it from the start anyway. But it refers to like the divine feminine and the rise of the feminine and the role of the feminine in healing. And that's basically what that talks about, and that's what's happening in the world today. Like that's what's happening with all these volcanic eruptions and all this magmatic activity and all of this heat that's coming out of the earth. It's like that. It's like I strike disease, I incise the ulcer. It's very, you know, I'm coming to stop this. Like I heal suffering. That's the energy of the divine feminine, like Kali. But this poem is like right before it. It was talks about the Romano-Celtic goddess Demona, a healing goddess venerated at a number of shrines and springs. Her imagery includes snakes. Snakes is actually like a symbol for healing. Like it's got a very negative connotation attached to it, just because people are scared of being poisoned to death. But it is actually a very healing symbol for healing, and it's I'm not actually sure if that's, you know, a medicine symbol where it looks like it's a sword and then two serpents. Yeah. I can't remember what it's called, but people know it's like that symbol for medicine. Itchy nose is two serpents, I think. Someone who knows better than me can look it up. Including snakes representing healing and regeneration, and ears of grain indicating fertility or abundance. Her name suggests, I should have just read the next sentence, but I did get an itchy nose as confirmation anyway. Her name suggests a connection with cattle or deer, and perhaps also dairy produce. Supplicants who visited Damona's sanctuary could stay overnight to experience a healing sleep. Healing goddesses were also mentioned in an early Irish spell, originally edited by Kuno Mayer over a century ago. The spells refer to three daughters of Phidias, Teora, Ingina, and Phlythias, who were invoked to heal various kinds of injuries. Perhaps Flan is one of the three healers called upon in the charm. Phidias herself has a connection with healing we saw in TBF. I don't know what TBF is. But that's what happens when you read like just a random page in a book. In the spell, the first two compounds words contain elements of an attested Vanda compound. I can't pronounce it. It's in Gaelic, denoting flesh and blood. And one wonders whether this might reflect the actual origin of the first line, the first two stanzas. It certainly flows more easily than the word biol in the recitation, and also preserves the alliteration, especially in the second stanza. Another possibility is that if the second word is just points out that in healing charms, the dragon slaying formula is transposed into a worm, real or figurative, which is perceived as the cause of illness. Okay, and what have we been talking about recently? Parasites, and recently, I'm not sure how recently it actually has been, but I've only recently discovered it. There's a dog dewormer. Okay, it's a dewormer for dogs, and I don't know how long it's been a dewormer for dogs. And it's called fembendazole, which I'm not sure if it's readily available now, but it was in late stage clinical trials when I checked, so stage 4, the last stage before it gets past as safe to actually use. But it's apparently like it's apparently going to be available as a generic drug. So like no monopoly like big pharma person can like get hold of it and make it really expensive. And it's curing people of cancer, like cancer that people thought was confirmation, like they'd just be given a death sentence if they got diagnosed it, like people with metastases. And it's a dewormer. In these spells, the enemy to be conquered in order for healing to take place is a snake or worm that must be killed or expelled. Watkins also states the roster would be incomplete, though without the predictable examples where the serpent of myth has become a real-life snake. In this charm, the venom of snake bites is mentioned as one of the wounds the charm is meant to heal. It is fascinating to note that directly after the invocation of 3 daughters of Phidias, the serpent itself is actually called upon to heal the wound. The following is an updated version of the LA or charm. Spell. And I've already read the poem to you. But how like weird that it was on that, like the book, that's where the bookmark was. I'm gonna have to read this book again because I just think there's a reason why like I was drawn to it today, and there's a reason why I was led to think about Iona. But to be honest, I've talked about, if people have been following my channel for a bit, people will have heard me talk about like whether I'm just supposed to be like a celibate monk like for the rest of my life. And that's why, and I know that I'm sharing this because I can't be the only person who feels that they've been a monk in a past life, or they're meant to be like a monk like character in this life or something like that. Anyway, this is one thing I didn't write it down. But basically, while they were thriving, all of these monasteries and all of these monastic monks, they were doing very well. A bit like my people in Palestine, okay? In Iona, they got invaded by the Vikings, and all the monastic monks in England, they got thousands and thousands of them got displaced with the dissolution of the monasteries by Henry VIII, King Henry VIII, who dissolved the monasteries for his personal reasons, which was to have a divorce. And I can't remember which of the queens that he married. My brain isn't like a massive retainer. Like my brain is like retains information for the time in which I need it. And then if it comes back, it comes back. But maybe I should look it up because we can do that, you know, in this day and age. But basically, that was one massive like change that happened, enacted by a king, that completely got rid of this very, I think this is a kind of like very true and pure form of Christianity that existed in this country. And it was replaced by the like kind of the not proper church that we have. I don't know. It was called the Act of Supremacy, passed by Parliament in 1534. He had broken from Rome's papal authority the previous year. The monasteries were dissolved by 2 acts. I'm just on Wikipedia, so like, you know, take that with a pinch of salt. Monasteries were dissolved by 2 acts of Parliament, those being the First Suppression Act in 1535 and the Second Suppression Act in 1539. So it was 260 religious houses for monks, 300 for regular canons, 142 nunneries, 183 friaries, some 12,000 people in total, 4,000 monks, 3,000 canons, 3,000 friars, 2,000 nuns. And so it was like 12,000 people of this religious order were displaced because of the dissolution of the monasteries. And at the time, it was 1 in 50